Facing a little traffic here, so I figured I'd make a quick TikTok. This is a toll road and you pay for it, but it's still a little bouncy because they're doing construction on it. Anyways, I wanted to talk about how important it is for women to preserve their value. Women preserve their value, men must create their value. But more than just preserve their value, women need to be really selective about who they give their value to. The same men must be selective about who they give the value they've created to. Most women are giving their best years to the Chads, to the Tyrones, and the Chads and Tyrones of the world aren't going to be there for you later. Let me explain. Let me elaborate. So I sell life insurance, right? Final expense, stuff like that. And I would go in these senior citizen retirement homes. And I would go in there and I would see these elderly people, 80s, 90s, 100s. And I would talk to the men. And the men would, I'd ask them, yeah, tell me about your wife. You know, they're there with their wives, and some of them are even in their hundreds. And they would light up, man, these men. They would light up and they would tell me about how they remember her and how beautiful she was in her teens, in her 20s, in her 30s. And oh man, you know, in her younger days you should have seen her, and oh, she was the most beautiful thing. And then they just go off about how beautiful she still is even to this day. And the woman's clearly an elderly woman, as beautiful as she may be in her elderly years. You know, she's wrinkly, she's saggy, she's not youthful anymore. But these men, they all kind of had the same thing in common, this commonality, that they all really valued, really appreciated these women having given them their best years, their most youthful years, their prime years, whatever you want to call it. And these men really valued that into their old age and stayed very loyal with them until the end, and still manly in love, because they carried that in their heart and their soul. They all never forgot how beautiful and young she was when they got together. No matter how much she aged, and menopause and hair falling out and you name it, whatever, it didn't matter to them. So women, be very selective about who you give your 20s and 30s to. A lot of these women are giving their 20s and 30s to the streets, and they're going to end up alone in a retirement home with no man bragging about how beautiful she used to be in her younger days, because Tyrone won't be there, Pookie won't be there. So you got to be selective about who you give that to.